Good morning, children. Happy to see you all again in this biology class. In the last class, we saw a new lesson. That is lesson 2, microorganisms, friend and foe. Is it not? So, what is microorganism? The organisms which we are not able to see with our naked eye. That means ordinary eyes. In this pandemic situation, we are afraid of what? Coronavirus, is it not? Which we are not able to see. We are afraid of a thing which we are not able to see. We don't know where it is, how it will come and attach with us, how it will affect us, how it will affect us, everything we don't know. But we are really afraid. Is it not? Are you all safe at home? Are you all following the precautionary steps and all? That is often washing your hands without wearing the mask. You should not go outside. Are you all following that? Do obey your parents' words and be careful for still some more time, some more period. Okay? Hope you all follow the rules. Now, about that microorganism, what we are not able to see, we are going to see in this chapter. In the last video class itself, we start about that, and now I am going to revise that lesson again. That part what I taught in the last class, I am going to revise today. What are microorganisms? Microorganisms are the organisms which we are not able to see. Such organisms are called microorganisms. Is it not? And that study of microorganisms is called microbiology. And who discovered this? How he was able to, then who discovered this microorganism? How he found out that? So, scientist named Leeuwenhoek. He only observed this microorganism under a microscope. Okay, and this microorganisms, it may present anywhere, even in this chalk piece, in our hands. Is it not? That is why you are advised not to touch anywhere. You should not touch the eyes, nose and mouth. Because this coronavirus, it may be present anywhere, and if you touch that, and again when you touch your mouth and nose, means it will attack you. It will attach with your body and it will start to multiply. So you should be very careful. Even in a tip of needle, millions and millions of microorganisms may be present. And these microorganisms are very minute, millimicrons in their size. So I hope you all know, I taught you what is a micron, the value 1 by 1000 millimeter. You all know how small a millimeter size is. If that 1 millimeter is divided into 1000 times, that is a millimicron, 1 micron. Understand? 1 millimeter, if you divide it into 1000 parts, that is 1 micron. So how minute it is? You can think of that. That is the size of the microorganisms, and these could be observed only under the microscope. And these microorganisms, all the microorganisms are not harmful. Some are harmful and some are beneficial. That is why the topic is microorganisms, friend and foe. Friend means what? Doing good. Will your friend do bad for you? He will not do. If he is a true friend, he will not do bad for you. Always he will do good. He will take care of you. So like that, some microorganisms will always do good for us. But some microorganisms, they may bring some harmful effect for us. That is why it is called as foe. Foe means enemy. That means some harmful things it will bring for us. Understand? That is called as microorganisms, friend and foe. About the microorganisms only we are going to see in this lesson. And this microorganisms, they will have hard covering surrounding it. Even if it is a single cell or multicellular, it will have outer covering, hard outer covering called cyst. The outer covering may be called as cyst. Understand? And it may survive in both the hot climate and also cold climate. Even in the extreme cold also it may live, and in extreme hot climate also it may live. So everywhere it is present. Next, this microorganisms or otherwise called as microbes. Microorganisms is also called as microbes, and these microbes are classified into 4 groups. These are classified into 4 groups. First one is bacteria. Next, virus. Then protozoa. And another one, fungi. So this microorganisms, lot of microorganisms are there, and this microorganism is classified into 4 groups. That is bacteria, virus, protozoa and fungi. Now let us see one by one. The first one is the bacteria. Where is bacteria present? It is present everywhere. Even in soil or water or on us, or it may be attached with a plant or animal or anywhere in the air, water, soil, everywhere it is present. And its size ranges from 1 to 1.25 microns. Size ranges from 1 to 1.25 millimicron. Its size ranges from 1 to 1.25 millimicron. So now only explain you what is a micron. 1 by 1000 millimeter. So its size is so small, and its shape also differs. It also classified according to its shape, because bacteria is differ in size and shape also. According to the shape, this bacteria is divided into 4 types. First one is bacillus. Second one, cocci. Third one, spirillum. Then fourth one, Vibrio. Understand? And this bacillus is nothing but rod shape. It will be straight. It will be straight, like a rod. Now, for example, is this chalk having any bend? No, it is straight. This is not like a rod. That is why this rod-shaped bacteria are called as or named as bacillus. And cocci means nothing but the spherical shaped bacteria. This is rod shaped. Then cocci means spherical shaped, round structure. That is called as cocci. And spiral means somewhat bend, having bend-like structures like the spiral, somewhat bend in nature. Such type of bacteria, shaped bacteria are called as, it will not be straight, and that is called as what? Spirillum. Next one, Vibrio, comma shape. Vibrio means what? We'll put comma like this, is it not? In this shape the bacteria will be, and this comma shaped bacteria is called Vibrio. So according to the size and shape, the bacteria differs, and it is classified into 4 types according to its shape. Bacillus rod shaped, cocci spherical shaped, spirillum and Vibrio comma shaped bacteria. And these bacteria also, some bacteria will bring diseases to us, so it may be harmful to us, and some it may do good for for us in our daily life. It is helpful in many ways that we are going to see later. So it is also beneficial to us. Even in our digestive system, some bacteria are present which helps in digestion. So like that, both beneficial and harmful bacteria are present. Next, coming to virus. Next, coming to virus. These viruses are also unicellular organisms and it have the outer hard covering like structures called cyst, and also it only when it attaches with the host organism. Host means what? It depends on some others. It won't attach with some other. For example, nowadays what they are saying, wear mask and all. Why means it needs some substratum to grow and live. Understand? Only if it comes and attach with our skin, it needs protein to grow and multiply. It is considered as both living and also non-living. When it is independent, it is present separately in the environment, it is considered as a non-living because it is not able to reproduce. But when it comes and attaches with a living organism, with the host, it will start to multiply. That is why viruses is kept in a borderline between living and non-living. Borderline between living and non-living thing. Understand? Viruses is kept in with the borderline between living and non. It is either considered as living nor as non-living, because when it is independent, it is considered as non-living. But when it comes and attaches with a host, it is considered as a living thing, because only when it comes and attaches with the host, it will start to reproduce. It will multiply. Understand? That is why the coronavirus also only when it attaches and with either to us or to animals or whatever it is, it will start to reproduce and it will multiply in many number. That is why we should avoid from the attack of the virus by washing our hands with soap. Often if we do that means, because of the washing, the cyst, the outer covering will break down and the virus will fall down and will lose its life. That is why we are advised to wash our hands thoroughly. Now do you understand the reason? Okay. Next. And these viruses bring diseases, mostly diseases only, they are harmful to us. For example, polio disease. I think all of you know what is polio. Nowadays it was eradicated. And some TB, then chicken pox, malaria and all, it was caused by viruses only. Understand? So these things viruses. Next one, protozoans. Protozoans are mostly aquatic, seen as aquatic in nature. Aquatic organisms, they are mostly seen in aquatic organisms. Example, protozoans, chlamydomonas, then euglena, like that. These are all examples for protozoans. Paramecium, everything they comes under protozoans. Next one is the fungi. This is either unicellular or multicellular. Either unicellular or multicellular. For example, yeast. Yeast is a common example for fungi. Now, I say the example for fungi is yeast. Is it not? The last class itself I told you that it is available in the shop itself, grocery shop and all, if you go and ask. Today I brought to show you. Now, can you see this things inside the packet? This is the yeast. I'll show you. See, it is like a powdered sugar. This is a dry yeast. It is like a powdered sugar. Can you see this? This is like a powdered sugar and this is dry yeast. This is only added to the food items and all. Okay, I will explain about this in the coming points and all. Okay, so it is present, either it is present in a single, that is called unicellular, or it may be seen in colonies. In groups also it may be present. For example, yeast and all you can see. Penicillium rotatum and all live in colonies, and you can see this, and it will be very useful. It is fungi, they are non-chloro, they don't have chlorophyll. They don't have non-chlorophyll structures. So they are not able to produce their food. Understand? And example, bread mold. Another one example, what you know is easy example that you will come across in your daily life, bread mold. If you moisten the bread, that means if you wet the bread and keep it closed for 2 or 3 days, means you can see fine patches, green or black patches growing on the bread. That is called as bread mold. Understand? Next one. In our daily, these are the 4 groups. Microbes, all the microorganisms are grouped into 4. They are bacteria, viruses, protozoa and fungi, and these are classified based on the size, shape and the living environment, habitat also they are classified. Next one, how it is useful in our daily life. Now I said the microorganisms are both beneficial and also harmful. Is it not? Now in this class we are going to see the beneficial activities of microorganism. In the last class I taught you about the beneficial activities and we are going to revise that. Now in our daily day-to-day life, it is very helpful in making of curd. Making of curd, bread, cake in bakeries and all, is it not? So in these and all, in the preparation of curd, bread and all, the bacteria or the microorganisms are very useful. Now, in the preparation of curd, at home, you might have seen your mom adding a little bit curd to the milk, warm milk in the night. And in the morning, if you see that the milk will be turned into curd. Why? This is because of a bacteria called lactobacillus. Lactobacillus bacteria is present in the curd, and this bacteria helps in turning the milk into curd. Okay, the curd, the lactobacillus bacteria is present, that only helps in changing the milk into curd. And in case of making bread in bakeries and all, they will prepare a dough to make a cake or whatever it is. You feel very soft. This is not bread and cake and all. How is this possible? Because of the fungus, that means the fungi yeast, unicellular organism yeast. Now I showed you, is it not? Because of the addition of this yeast to the dough, they will prepare the maida flour. By adding water, they will make it in the dough, and to that they will add this yeast. This is the dry yeast. Now it is not activated. It is not activated. In this dry condition, it will not multiply. But when you add it to the dough that is mixed with water and all, that moisture activate this yeast. The yeast will get activated. That means that it will reproduce, multiply in number, and it will make the dough soft, and the volume of the dough also will increase. If you prepare only little quantity of dough, after adding yeast to it, what will happen means the dough will increase in its volume. And you can see many holes present on the upper surface of the dough. That is because of the release of carbon dioxide gas. Carbon dioxide gas will be produced when these yeast respires. When the respiration takes place in the yeast, it releases carbon dioxide and it will come out of that dough and makes the dough soft. Understand? In this way, the bread and the pastries and the cake and all very soft in nature and helps in the bakery items. Next, commercial uses. Commercial use means what? In large scale production will be there. For example, alcohol, wine, then vinegar. Vinegar is nothing but acetic acid. These and all produced in large quantities in factories. Okay, and if anything is produced in large quantities for commercial purpose, that is called commercial trade. This is not to earn money. And in this commercial purpose of production also, these microorganisms are useful. Okay, next. Fermentation process. Next step, fermentation. This fermentation process is discovered by Louis Pasteur. Louis Pasteur. Fermentation means nothing but conversion of alcohol into acetic acid. That is natural sugar into alcohol. Conversion of natural sugar present in food items into alcohol, that is called fermentation. For example, the batter what your mother prepared at home, that batter she will keep for 6 to 8 hours, and after that in the morning, or if she prepared it in the morning and in the evening, if you see and if you open, that means the level will be raised and there will be some bubbles and you can get some smell. Is it not? That a foul smell like it will come. That is because of the release of the carbon dioxide gas. And the carbon dioxide gas will be released. And this process of conversion of the sugar in a batter and all, what is there present in the rice carbohydrate, the glucose that is converted into alcohol, that is because of the conversion of the sugar into alcohol. This process is called fermentation and it was discovered by Louis Pasteur. Along with that, not only this, coming to the medicinal field, in medical purposes also, many medicines are produced from using this microorganisms. One such preparation is vaccine. Vaccine is nothing but producing a medicine from the weakened or dead microorganisms. Producing medicines from dead or weakened microorganisms, and when it is injected into the patient's body or any other host, this vaccine will help the body to produce, induce the body to produce antibodies. Antibodies is nothing but the thing that is produced inside our body when any foreign material enters. For example, if this vaccine is given to some injured person, so this vaccine will induce our body to produce antibodies against that microorganism, infected organism. It will kill that harmful microorganism. This process is called vaccination, and this was discovered by Edward Jenner. This was discovered by Edward Jenner. Whenever you fall ill, if you go to visit a doctor, he will give you the antibiotic. What he is giving is antibiotic. And this antibiotic you have to take according to the directions of the given by the doctor, whatever he is giving. The course you have to complete. You should not stop before the course gets over. If he is asking you to take medicines for a particular period, for that period completely you have to take the full medication, or else the infect, whatever the microorganisms in our body, it will multiply and give you the trouble. But if you take the full course, means it will not allow the microorganism again to invade in our body. Also, without the doctor's prescription, you should not take medication, because then and there, often if you take a medication, means then in future there will not be any effect against your immune power. There won't be any effect. That is why without a medical doctor's prescription, you should not take any medication. Without doctor's advice, on your own also, you should not take medication. Understand? Next one. Another one, this penicillin, common antibiotic, the first antibiotic, the first antibiotic produced was penicillin. The first antibiotic was penicillin, and this was discovered by Alexander Fleming. The first antibiotic, penicillin, was discovered by Alexander Fleming when he was working under a culture of bacteria. He was doing some experiment with the bacteria on following the actions carried out by the bacteria. He found some other thing come and attack that bacteria, and this bacteria reacts for that and it invades that. So that is called as antibiotic, and this penicillin, this was prepared from the fungus Penicillium notatum. It was prepared from a fungus called Penicillium notatum. When Alexander Fleming was working on a culture of bacteria, he found something covered that bacteria. Okay, and he found that fungal growth, that fungus that killed those bacteria. From that only he prepared that penicillin. Also in animal feed also, animals will also get attacked by some microorganisms and will get diseases. This is not. That will also be given antibiotic and with that livestock. That means the food will be given to the animals and along with the food itself, these antibiotics will also be given for animals to cure their diseases. Next, common antibiotic is given for the polio drops. I think you all know. It will be given to the group of children below the age group of 5, and it was almost eradicated. Nowadays, more vaccines are produced for various diseases from these microorganisms. Even now, for against the coronavirus, they are trying to find the vaccine. If it is found out, means then it will be free. Next. Not only this, microorganisms helps to increase the fertility of the soil. You know about that rhizobium bacteria. This is not the rhizobium bacteria that also helps to increase the fertility of the soil. So this rhizobium bacteria that is found in the roots of the leguminous plants, this helps to increase the fertility, absorbs the atmospheric nitrogen, and it is convert that nitrogen into the useful one into the plants. How the plants can utilize that nitrogen? In that way, it converts that atmospheric nitrogen into the useful one and helps the plants to grow in a fertile manner, and also helps to increase the fertility of the soil. Next one, decomposers. Decomposers means what? That converts the dead and decayed organisms into a useful one. Without the decomposers, that microorganisms, we can't live in this earth. Is it not? If it is not decomposed, whatever we put the waste and all, if it remains there and in all the places without any change, then how it will be? The places will become dirt, and we won't find any place to live in this earth. Everything will be dumped with the garbage, and everything will be there, and the dead organisms, dried leaves and all, everything what is deposited on the soil, if it remains as same, then there won't be enough space to live, either we or animals, whatever it is. Then how these dead and decayed organisms are removed from the soil? It was decomposed into certain minerals with the help of this decomposers, and it is also done by some useful bacteria. That is why we should not use the things which are not decomposed by microorganisms. For example, the polythene bags and all. The microorganisms cannot decompose that. Is it not? So we should not use the things which are not decomposed by microorganisms. Then it will be harmful to us. So these are the beneficial activities that are given by the microorganisms for us. Do you understand the topic well? Okay. Along with this, I will send the worksheet. You all please complete that also. Be inside and stay safe. Thank you, children.
Now, children, you all understand the lesson well, I think. Shall we start to write the classwork? Okay. You start with a new page. Before this, I think you all finished with the lesson 1. Now, write date and the second lesson heading. The lesson heading is Microorganisms, Friend and Foe. Now, in book exercise, the question number 4. Can microorganisms be seen with the naked eye? If not, how can they be seen? Now, the answer is no. Microorganisms cannot be seen by our naked eyes, as they are very small and are called microbes. They can be seen with the help of microscope. Children, I hope you all remember that you have to write the question with the black and the answer with blue. Now, question number 5. What are the major groups of microorganisms? The answer is microorganisms are classified into 4 major groups. They are bacteria, fungi, protozoa and virus. Now, question number 6. Name the microorganisms which can fix atmospheric nitrogen in the soil. The answer is bacteria such as rhizobium and certain blue-green algae present in the soil can fix atmospheric nitrogen and convert into usable nitrogenous compounds, which are used by plants for the synthesis of proteins and other compounds. Now, the question number 7. Write 10 lines on the usefulness of microorganisms in our lives. The answer is microorganisms are useful for us in many ways. First point, lactobacillus bacteria convert milk into curd. Point 2, bacteria are also involved in the making of cheese. Third point, Azotobacter is used in the production of acetic acid from alcohol. Point number 4. Yeast is used in commercial production of alcohol and wine. Point 5. Antibiotics are manufactured by growing specific microorganisms. Number 7. Some bacteria fixes atmospheric nitrogen and increase the soil fertility. Point 7. Bacteria are used in the preparation of medicines like antibiotics and vaccines. Now, point 8. Bacteria are used in the preparation of pickles and many other food items. Point 9. Yeast is also used in baking industry for making breads, cakes. Number 10. They act as cleansing agent and decomposes the waste products into manure. Children, you all write the classwork very neatly without any spelling mistakes. Thank you, children.